Spartan Legion staff interviews. Behold, the green and gold.
Hi, I'm Derik Wright, one of the music arrangers here for Spartan Legion.
Mr. Derik Wright, thank you so much for joining us today, sir. I know it's the day after homecoming, so it's kind of hard to do this early, but appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
And I also know that you're getting ready to leave town, so thank you again for taking time out to do this interview.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's get started. Derik, where are you from?
I'm from Fort Washington, Maryland. It's a city right beside Washington, D.C.
Okay. And what high school did you attend?
So I went to Oxon Hill High School. I'm in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Yeah.
And did you march in the band there, I assume?
I did march in the band, played trumpet, tuba there, and I was a student arranger in high school too. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you get to the Legion?
It was early days of YouTube. I came across the '06 Honda clip. From then, I became obsessed with the Spartan Legion, essentially. I used to attend the high school band camps we had. They were week-long sessions. I think at the end of June, excuse me for my voice too, homecoming wasn't kind to me. But it were week-long sessions where we would be essentially entrenched in the Spartan Legion as high school students. So just doing that every summer, and then senior year came around, auditioned with Mr. Paul Adams, and after that, this is my story.
What years did you march here?
So I came rookie class of 2011, and I was here marching. I did a few years now. 2011 to 2013, I did tuba, and part of 14 as well. Then I switched trombone after that. So it's trombone section leader, horn section leader following that. So ultimately, I finished in 2017.
Wow,
yeah.
wow. So what instrument have you not played?
Any woodwind. So, I mean, it's just not my forte. My twin brother plays saxophone and all that. I let them have that. But
it's two of you, bro?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he marched here too, saxophone section. So
at the same time?
Yeah, he was a little later than me.
Okay.
But yeah, he came in 2014. So he did saxophone before going to the Marines. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were a Virginia guy for some reason.
Oh no, man. I mean, I've been down here long enough to do that. So.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, how did you get into arranging? But you said you were a student arranger in high school.
Yeah.
I'll still ask the question. How did you get into it in high school?
Man, I became a band head, and what I used to do, go on YouTube, I listened to band clips, and I was like, man, what do they do? I started asking my band director questions, because he used to write the music for us at the time. So, me being young, I tried going on YouTube and copy some college's arrangement and show it to him. And luckily, he took me in. We would have hours-long conversations of, what techniques I need to do to make this work for this group. Because, we're a high school band. I'm writing stuff like that Jackson State is playing that, is just way out of our wheelhouse. But he had the patience to sit down with me. And from then, he kind of molded me and allowed me to be the student arranger my junior and senior year. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So when you got to Norfolk State, marched in the band, did you just say, hey, I was a student arranger, can I arrange here, or how did that happen?
Well, see, the good thing about Norfolk State, we have a really, really great infrastructure for student arrangers. The opportunity is actually presented to you when you come into the band. Everybody asks, who wants to write music? Who wants to learn how to write music? Who writes music? And at that time, we had an actual committee of student arrangers. So we had a head student arranger and some assistant student arrangers. And what they would do is kind of vet the incoming student arrangers on what the Legion's orchestration is, just even what the Legion's sound is. And they would essentially come talk us through our arrangements, help edit it. So that's what I ended up going into. I became the head student arranger when I was here as well. But it was like, who writes? I'm first in class raising my hand. And so I was actually I didn't get anything written for the band my freshman year. But at the beginning of sophomore year, I wrote the flag feature for Labor Day Classic. And,
you remember the song name?
Yeah, it's Rihanna, Where Have You Been? Yeah, they did like a little mixed medley. I think it was Vice Versa and the Rihanna, which, like I said, yeah. But yeah, so that was actually my first arrangement for Legion was Where Have You Been by Rihanna.
That would have been 2012?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and then I was doing dance routine stuff all the time. That's where the student arrangers really get to shine, is writing for the dance routine and book music. But we always get an opportunity to do it because it helps when you can start with small scale arrangements and then work your way up to a larger piece that's like, a minute 15, minute and a half, and then maybe even get the opportunity to present a field piece. So like we've had a whole student halftime show when I was in the band, the student drill writer, student arrangers, everything, choreography students. So it's just the infrastructure we have at the Spartan Legion, just really kind of helping propel into that position. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good thing. All right, so now you graduated from the Legion.
Yeah.
And you became an arranger on staff.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So at that point, was it a given that you were just going to be an arranger here, or?
Well, when I was a head student arranger, I put out a lot of music, and at the time, I think band polls had just started coming around. So there had began, I think it was like a top 25 HBCU band covers. I think it was the HBCU Sports Magazine. And so my last few years as an undergrad student, I was placed, a couple of my arrangements were placed in the top 10 over there. And I just had very good reception with my arrangements. So I think that was what led to the decision to keep me involved as an arranger on staff too. But I also was still the low brass coordinator when I first graduated. So I worked with the low brass as well as doing arranging as well. So.
You came in under Paul Adams, right?
Actually, I came in under Dr. Sanford at first. And then, Mr. Adams right after that, and then obviously Mr. B. So I had all three of the band directors.
So how was those transitions for you as an arranger, as a bandsman, learning the Legion?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was really great. Mr. Adams especially, it's just a wealth of knowledge. I was actually his last, I guess, arranging student before he retired. And so I would spend hours, and I'm talking hours, like I've seen the sunlight come up in Mr. Adams' office, just us working on arrangements, talking about arrangements. And he would just always pour his knowledge into me. I would write something, and one thing I did really respect was that he allowed me to still have my own creativity and would just really poise a lot of things in the form of a question as opposed to saying, this is wrong, this is wrong. He was like, what do you want to get in this moment? What do you want to do with this? So he just really took me under my wing. So as an arranger, that was just the biggest help I could ever ask for. I was a rookie with Dr. Sanford, so I really didn't get to meet him much. But then we get to Mr. B. Mr. B and Ms. Sanders, these are my professional parents. Mr. B has just taken me under his wing. He's helped me in any accomplishment I've had since I've gotten here. And even just writing music, like he'll ask the same questions. He'll say, so Derik, what are we looking for right here? It's like, maybe, what do you think about trying it like this, right? And just a small tweak that he'll even ask me to do would just make a world of difference in the pieces I write. And it's always, like I said, it's well received by the fans too. So, I could speak for days and days about what these band directors mean to me. So I'm just forever grateful. Yeah.
From my interactions with you,
Yeah.
I know you're a good dude, good man. I've never seen or heard anyone say anything bad about you. Whenever you show up, everybody's running to you. Mm-hmm. Like, I guess it's just that energy, right?
Yeah, I am a very friendly person. I try to show love and appreciation wherever I go. I think it's really important to just build relationships with everybody you come in contact, and I try to make positive relationships. That's one of my big mantras. It's just making friends. So I think when the kids come around, why they always get excited when I'm around. I'm very encouraging for them. I try to be enthusiastic with them as well. But I'm always willing to be a listening ear for them. The staff, like I said, I can speak for days about the staff, but they kind of saw me grow up as well too. So it's like, you know, this family essentially, man. So I just love on everybody, man. It's just a big thing for me.
When it comes to your arrangements, is there an arrangement that you created and then took a second guess at, like, you know, why did I do that?
I mean, yeah, I got a few. It's a lot. It's actually like in a laptop that probably never made it out. And then it's even some things like, even to this day, where I feel like, you know, I'm a seasoned arranger now, that I've read some things like, that didn't quite translate the way I thought it was. I don't know if I can exactly name one in particular, but, you know, that's, the thing about arranging is that there's so many different variables that come into the music, you know, and the performance of it as well. It could be maybe the instrumentalists aren't having a good day that day, so that could be something that's playing it. The band's changed. You might have written it with a certain group in mind, and maybe those strengths or weaknesses are completely different now. You know, it's just a litany of different factors of why, from your mind to paper, it's not translating into the sound coming out of the instrument. So, but yeah, I have plenty of arrangements. I'm like, you know, I don't know about this one. I was like, it's out there now, but you know, you can't take it back. But you know, that's what we learn from. So.
Do you have a favorite arrangement?
Yeah, I got two. I'll say two favorite arrangements. One of them, a lot of people don't know, is what was it? "When Doves Cry" by Prince.
When doves cry.
Reason why that's my favorite arrangement is, well, one of them is because the piece itself really doesn't have a lot in it. There's no bass line. It's literally just drums, a synthesizer that only happens occasionally, and just Prince singing. That's and the guitar solo, you know. But there's not a lot to work with that. So I really had to get really creative to make this piece translate. So we actually did a Prince tribute show. And that was one of the featured pieces where we had featured twirler and Jose Palmier, who's a alumnus here, incredible guitar player. So he played guitar solo for that. So that was one of my favorite ones. And then probably my all-time favorite is Flythe, "As Soon as I Get Home." We did that when our first appearance at the National Battle of the Bands in Houston, and you know, I would love to, you know, bring that piece back too. It's just one of the ones I just really feel really good about, and I had some big ideas for it. But it really means something for me. And Mr. B actually gave me the opportunity to conduct that piece on the national stage. You know, he says this all the time. He feels it's very important to, you know, put his staff in the light to showcase the work that they do, and so that really meant a lot to me. Like I said, it's just one of those songs. As soon as I get home, I feel like, you know, like this is homecoming. I feel like it just has, like, you know, an underlying meaning to it, man. It's just something that means really a lot to me. So,
do you have a favorite artist or band that you like to arrange their music?
I mean, yeah, for me, I got a couple different genres for that too. Like Earth, Wind & Fire is already a given. I mean, it's just so much material that they have, and the musicianship that they perform with is just incredible. But I think that's every arranger's favorite group is Earth, Wind & Fire. Yeah. But I would say I'm a New Jack Swing kid. I really like, you know, I mean, just the whole era. So I can go through a whole bunch of artists, but I just think that music really translates well for band. So I like writing that. And then the students all love me for writing the trap arrangements. So I think a lot of my claim to arranging fame was arranging for the Migos back when they were, you know, in their heydays. So I gotta mention that as well. So
this is a joke, but or not joke, but just being funny.
Yeah.
When I interviewed Nat Shine, I had read a post on Facebook that said trumpet players make better arrangers.
Yeah.
And I asked that to him. And he gave a definite, educated answer. It wasn't, any like, yeah, that's us or anything like that. He gave his philosophy behind it. But I know a lot of sousaphone players who are great arrangers, band directors, all of the above. What are your thoughts? Do you think that a particular instrument makes you a better arranger?
And so I won't say it makes you a better arranger, but I feel like you can almost hear what instrument they have a tendency for by the way that they write. And even what an arranger considers when they're writing will also kind of indicate what's their instrument like. How are they voicing things? How are they passing melodies around? Or what kind of endurance are they allowing for, or they're considering for the instrumentalists too? I think that kind of tells you. But my honest answer, I'm biased. I think tuba players make the best arrangers. If we go through the numbers, if y'all don't go through HBCU, somebody make that a research project. I think it's tuba players. But at the end of the day, it's really the musician. Who's a good musician? That's what makes a good arranger, is a good musician. A lot of tuba players like myself play a whole bunch of instruments. And I think that's one of the things that help an arranger is being aware of the mechanics of the instruments as well. Like Nat Shine, I don't know if you know, he is nasty on both the keys and the bass too.
Yes.
So I mean, he's just a crazy musician. Same thing with Stephen Reed, man, and he arranges not just for marching band. He's doing show charts and everything like that too. So you have to be an incredible musician and be an incredible arranger.
Yeah, I have a great team of arrangers. I will say that.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're the Avengers.
So what is your favorite instrument to arrange for?
Trombone, hands. I don't even think that's close. It's definitely trombone. It's just the most versatile instrument out of all of them. It can operate in every range, depending on what skill level you're at. But trombone is one of the few instruments that, as a section, can stand alone and have an arrangement that still sounds pleasing to the ear. Basses will carry the bass line. You can have, some other instruments holding out harmonies while still having melody over it. That's three parts you need: bass, harmony, and melody. Trombone's can do all of it. So,
what is the hardest instrument for you to arrange for?
It used to be piccolo, because for a while it's like you want to be able to use them tactfully, and you don't just put them where the first trumpets are playing. That's a cop-out, I think. But it was piccolo, but I think I've gotten a lot more comfortable with that. I think it's clarinet. Clarinet, because the more I learn about the instrument, there's so many more considerations to it. Like what range am I writing for them, and the intonation that comes with those ranges, and what venue am I writing for the clarinets is also not considered. But it's just a lot to think about.
Now, Derik, how do you capture the signature Spartan Legion sound and energy in your arrangements?
Well, for me, I have a formula. Well, I'm picky with a lot of the music I write, so I wanted to be able to tell a story, and be able to go somewhere. Like when I listen to a piece, I have to have a clear idea of what's the direction I'm taking it in. Like, are we going to start it off and I'm just going to wake the crowd up from the first pitch? Is it going to be something? Everything moves progressively, but it's like, am I going to build the anticipation up, at a slower pace? Is it going to be high energy the entire time? So I consider that, but then I also think about the Legion. We have our, like I said, there's some bands in America that you can close your eyes and listen to and tell exactly who it is. The Spartan Legion is one of those. And it's partly because of the musical quotations we use, like, using like perfect fifths, and the horn calls and everything like that come with the Legion. So I think about music that I can both incorporate that to make it known that it's Legion, and just, like overall musical direction of the piece. It's almost hard to explain because it's something that, like all the arrangers, we've just grown in this. We're all products of Mr. Adams, essentially, right? So all of our sound is us, but it does have an origin. And I think, the things that we do that are just like innate are the Legion standards. Even the current students now that never had Mr. Adams as a director before, you can still even hear influences from him and what they do. So I think it's just in the air, man. It's just, you know, it's just what we do.
Or as Pharrell like to say, something in the water.
Something in the water. Yeah.
What elements make an arrangement fit an HBCU style band versus a core or PWI one?
That could be a difficult question because there's so many different styles in HBCU. Same thing, there's so many different styles in PWI, you know. But I think an overarching difference would be energy and intensity for the pieces. I think HBCUs generally, you know, try to play with a lot more intensity and energy in the music. Not saying that PWI schools don't, but a lot of focus is, you know, we have to have some excitement because we're responsible for waking up the crowd. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just the intensity and the energy put forth. I don't think it's anything musical per se. Only thing I could probably debate is two brass sections. The euphoniums are really a lot different from HBCU to PWI, and the mellophone sections are really different. But trombones, trumpets, and tubas are different as well in HBCU than they are in PWI. But the rest of the band, you write the same way for both groups. Yeah.
How do you balance power and musicality in your arrangements?
So because I play all the brass, I kind of know where, you know, these thresholds are, where this is going to get out of character if I put this instrument here or if I voice it like that. So, you know, I'm really tactful in who I'm writing for and where I'm writing it at. Because I'm always thinking the kids, the students, excuse me, are always going to try to max out whatever I play, you know, especially when I'm not in rehearsal or Miss Sanders is not in front of them to ring them in, because, like I said, we know how they can get. But I'm always keeping that in mind. So I try to write tactfully where, all right, if they play right here, they can still hold some pretty good intonation. I'm not going to be worried about tone, just, you know, getting out of character or anything like that. So I think about it when I'm writing for it, and I just try my best to, if possible, to stay out of passing that threshold of bad sound in the music. You know, sometimes it happens, but, you know, that's what we rehearse for. So.
How do you approach writing for a brass section to make it sound full and rich?
So going back to what Mr. Adams, we would have long conversations about, is using the harmonic series and learning how to really actually use the harmonic series to change a band's sound. So depending on the sound I'm looking for in the venue, I could have open voicing that's more true to the harmonic series. It's like, you know, I'm placing pitches where they actually belong in. But if I'm, you know, looking for something maybe with a little more tension, you know, I'll do closer voicing or whatever. Also thinking about timbres of the instruments, you know, especially for brass, you know, you have the conical versus cylindrical, and just learning how to combine some of those sounds, or just using straight conical or straight cylindrical in a certain moment in your arrangement for whatever effect you're looking for, you know. So it's just how I apply it.
So you have, and probably still do, or I know you do, range for other schools, not just HBCU, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So how do you handle woodwinds in an HBCU setting where brass often leads the sound?
So there's a couple of things I do for the woodwinds. This goes back to my high school director. He had this thing where the woodwind section you should be able to hear the entire arrangement just through the woodwind section, right? A lot of people do the standard, I'm going to double the saxophones with the mellophone part, I'm going to double the clarinets and flutes with the trumpet part, and, you know, that's just what they do. But I'm a lot more particular in how I write for woodwinds. Like I said, I know the strengths of most of the instruments, and I want to make sure that the woodwind students feel valued when they're playing the music too, as opposed to just playing a double part where, you know, logically you're not going to hear it over a trumpet. That's just not how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you make sure your arrangements hype the crowd while keeping musical integrity?
Like I said earlier, what's my format for the piece. I want to make sure there is going to be some build up, and I want it to be a very big moment at some point in time in the piece. Just to get, I think about crowd reaction all the time when I'm writing. So I mean, it's really just my form. My form is how I keep them excited. But then, and this is debatable. A lot of people don't feel like arrangers have to be true to the song, but I'm very particular in like making sure that somebody that's not in band can listen to my arrangement and know exactly what the song is without having to guess. So just making sure the song is easily accessible. Yeah.
What does it mean to you to arrange for the Legion?
Oh man, it means the world. It really means the world to me. The Legion, and you know, sometimes I reflect on it, it was always a dream, and it feels like sometimes it's not reality that I do write for the Legion because it's something I dreamt of when I was in high school. You know, I just didn't think it was going to happen. So I'm just really grateful to be able to even have the opportunity to do this. But it means the world to me. This band means the world to me, and it's my pleasure to be able to still serve it, especially in that capacity.
How do you handle feedback or changes from Mr. B and Miss Sanders?
Oh, open ears. You know, it's like I said, homecoming yesterday. I talked to Mr. Adams. He said there's a difference between being stupid and ignorant, right? He said when you're stupid, you can't learn. When you're ignorant, you can learn. So I take that same mantra. So whenever they tell me something, it's like maybe I didn't know this. So now I'm learning it. So I just stay with open ears, and most of the time it pans out. You know, you have to be willing to take criticism, especially as a musician. You'll never get better if you don't. So.
Yes, sir. What is the hardest part about arranging for the Legion?
Hardest part, the Legion changes every single year. Like me in particular, I have an issue writing for them without actually hearing them first. Because even though, like I said, I've been around this band program for over 10 years now. Literally every single year, I'm nervous at band camp. Because like, okay, I've written some music, but what is the band this year? I want to make sure I'm writing so the band can be at its best every single year. So I think that's the most difficult part, is writing to this year, this time of the year band. Like even something I would write for them at this point in the season would be different from what I did at band camp, because the band is different now. So it's just a forever changing landscape with the group, and just making sure you're staying up to date with that is probably the most difficult part.
How has Mr. B and or Miss Sanders influenced your arranging style?
I mean, tremendously. Yeah, tremendously. Honestly, both of them actually did two separate things. Like I said, Mr. B was really intricate. I mean, integral. That's the word I'm looking for. On my form and how I structured the arrangements. Like, where is this going, right? And Miss Sanders was one of those ones. We talked about musical integrity. You know, just really influenced me. Like, where's the melody? Helping me understand how to shape music correctly. Like making it really musical. Like, you know, our trademarks here at Norfolk State. So she had me considering different things when I was writing music, because, like I said, I started out writing rap music most of the time, and it's like, it's not too much to it. But she really challenged me in just adding more essentially season to the arrangements. And I think it just made me a better musician in general.
Who are some of the arrangers that inspire your work?
Oh man, it's a lot, honestly. I take something from everybody, not even just at Norfolk State, but obviously I have to put Mr. Adams at the top of that list. You know, and Sebring was the head student arranger on the Legion that I grew up on YouTube listening to. So a lot of the pieces that honestly I thought Mr. Adams wrote were actually Sebring writing as a student. And just there's a whole list of student arrangers before me that like Chris Gray, Daniel Whitworth, Tyrus Walker. You know, these are people that were either in the band when I first got here, or they had just left the program, and they just had phenomenal work. So here, those were some big ones. I have to put Lynn Sargent in there at FAMU. You know, he just has an incredible concept of music there. Especially harmonic concept. That's my favorite aspect of his arrangements. You know, I like a lot of the arrangers from Southern as well. like a Nathan Hamer, Brian Simmons. I think they really know how to like get a crowd going. Honestly, as I talk about, I'm thinking about what's the crowd reaction, and I think they're some of the best to be able to do that for crowds. So, and you know, there's like I said, just a litany of a range. I listen to everybody. I think that's the only way I can get better, is taking something from everybody. There's band directors at high schools that I watch, you know, and I'm listening to them. I was like, man, oh, this was really good, man. You know, I'm taking notes. I was like, I'm gonna do this in one of my arrangements too, you know. So everybody, essentially, man. I can take something from everybody.
How is it for you to arrange for percussion? I know a lot of arrangers say they stay away from it, or.
So I don't write battery parts. However, and like I said, that's what I love about Norfolk State. And when Mr. B was not the head, the director of bands, when he was assistant and worked with percussion, he would always come in and really talk us through how he would write for percussion and why the wind arranger should consider these certain things when you do, especially, like more particularly on the bass line, right? We're writing a bass line, and if it's certain rhythm, he'll explain why he's putting the basses on these rhythms, or even if the actual track has like, there's a kick that's exactly dubbed with whatever the bass line is, he'll say, I omitted this because, you know, we have to be able to allow the tone or the pitch of the tubas to come out clearly. And if I have the basses going every single beat with the tubas, you're losing clarity in your bass sound. So there's a lot of things that I write with percussion in mind, even just rhythms of like accompaniment. I was like, okay, oh, I know like I said, and I know the percussion arrangers here, and I know how they think and how they work because I've been here so long. They're just phenomenal. So I think about all this stuff when I write. How's my arrangement going to sound with percussion under it? So, yeah.
Do you have any advice for future Legion arrangers?
Yeah, never give up. I had a lot of times where I wrote. I've probably written over 100 arrangements where they'll never see the light of day, you know, and it took me persevering and just keep going and keep asking questions and submitting arrangements for one to get played, you know, and it doesn't happen overnight. Be willing to listen to critique as well, you know, because this is an ever-growing process. Even as seasoned arrangers, we're still learning every single day, every single arrangement. Like I said, we're not perfect. We just talked about it earlier, we might put something out that, you know, it's not translating. It doesn't mean you're a bad musician, doesn't mean you're a bad arranger. Just grow from it. So just don't stop.
Right. And lastly, when I first met you, you were here for a solid year, and then you left.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
So I went to get my master's degree in wind conducting at George Mason. So I just graduated from there last spring. And now I'm down in Athens, Georgia at the University of Georgia getting my doctorate in wind conducting. So
how soon before we're able to call you Dr. Wright?
I'm done with courses in the spring, but I still have to do my dissertation and research. I'm hoping spring 27. That's my goal. So.
Right. While still working with the Legion.
Yeah, I can't stop, man. Like I said, I'm just happy to be able to serve the band. So, yeah.
All right, man. I think that concludes this, brother. I truly appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. It was a pleasure talking to you, getting to know you better.
Thank you for having me.
Sir.
Yeah.
This is Sparta!